we don't want the leave option to be available until those two conditions have been met. So to have a node only appear once, we click the node, then under the Conditions tab, click the pencil, and then display this node only once. So I'm going to do that for the first three. For the last node, it's a little different because we want to make sure that these two have been clicked before this one appears. So Conditions, and then there's something called Dialog Sim Status Condition. We basically want to tell ChatMapper which of the nodes have to have been selected before this node is revealed. So I can either type in the ID, and in this case, the village child is node number 3, so 3. And then to add another dialog condition, I would type in and some status condition. And another way I can replace this is by highlighting the words and then left click and dragging on top of the words, and it gets updated. It doesn't really matter how you want to do it, they both work. Now each one has a condition. And now let's run our simulation to see how that worked. Notice here that leave is in orange. That's because it's not a valid node yet. The conditions haven't been met for it to be shown, so it's not there. Now that we've clicked midwife, it's not going to be shown again, and it appears in orange. We've just met our first condition. Uh-oh, what just happened there? Basically, ChatMapper knows that when there's no other options to be selected, it'll automatically play it. So once I spoke to the child, the only person left to talk to was the protector. Protector was automatically chosen. So once the protector was chosen, both conditions were met, and then the last condition was the leave option. Well, since there was no other option on that menu, that was automatically chosen. So basically, once I spoke to the child, I pretty much automatically left, and I don't want that. I want my player to make their own decisions, even if there's only one. The way I tell ChatMapper to force a node to be shown is by using the F tag. Just like the A tag, I put it in the menu text. Just make sure that you don't put any spaces because that'll appear in the simulation as well. So now I have all my F tags for each of the 4 decision nodes. So the last thing I'm going to do is add emphasis tags and pipes. Emphasis tags are sort of highlighters to make certain words stand out more. What I'm going to do is go to Project, Project Settings, and here I have 4 different dialog emphasis colors. I have orange, green, blue, and gray as my default, and each one is numbered 1, 2, 3, and 4. I can designate whatever I want for each of these things. I can have all my locations in green, or certain names in orange, or specific clues in blue, or any other color I want. For this, I'm going to choose emphasis 2, which is green, for all my locations. In this example, my key location is the Great Cave, so I'm going to go do that in just a moment. So now we can see up on top, EM2 or emphasis 2 is green and it means location. In this node, I have the clue that you have to go north to find the Great Cave. So over here, I can highlight the Great Cave, click this little pencil and select EM2, which I know means location. Another thing I can do is add pipes. My little area to type here is pretty small, so what I can do is drag this over, and now I have more room. Adding pipes forces a line break in the simulation, so if I don't want a huge big chunk of text showing up, I can just throw a couple of these in there, maybe after every sentence or two. And in the simulation, it should appear in a new line. So now let's test it out. The village child, which is our first condition. Here's the highlighted the Great Cave, showing that's an important location. And this did not get automatically played, so that's great. We can click it ourselves. And our final option to go on our journey. Now, the last thing I want to mention is that once you've finished your dialogue, you can always go back and replay it, but it remembers your progression from your previous playthrough. So to fix that, just click this button right here and it will reset everything. And now we're back at the beginning. So that's it. That's the basics of ChatMapper. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and stay tuned because in the next tutorial video, we'll be showing you all sorts of cool things like how to add variables, track relationships like respect and trust, and adapt a conversation depending on what the player does. So stay tuned.